Okay, and we are back, and right now it is time for Family Check right here on Good Morning Kenya. And our topic of discussion today is on balancing love and respect in marriage. And joining me for this topic is one Reverend Paul Gichuhi and Pastor Paul Blessing. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into it. How do we get to define love and respect in the context of marriage? If we may begin with you, Paul.
Thank you for having me. Okay, I will say that love and respect is like they have to go together. And you cannot respect someone you don't love. And it's not easy to love someone you don't respect. But usually when it comes to marriage, you find sometimes it is like the love is more of towards the woman, and the woman is supposed to respect. But you find this have to go together, because if, let's say, for example, a man, a very good example, if a man is like a fish, if you take out, they lack respect, is like a fish out of water, it dies. That is life. Yeah. So if a woman gets love, she's just filled with everything she needs. That's according to me.
Now, Reverend Gichuhi, how would you define love and respect in relation to marriage?
Okay, yes, I think love is expressed in different ways, especially in terms of the context. Okay, so in terms of a husband and a wife, I think every person has their needs, and for me I say that it's a God-given need. Even as we look at the scriptures, in the book of Ephesians chapter 5, it talks about how the wife is to submit, is to respect the husband, and husbands are commanded to love, their wives. And I believe that God does not just give those as instructions, but he has put in every human being that inherent or that ability to be able to respect the other person, although I believe that respect is mutual. But for us as men, we admire, we appreciate, we feel valued, or we get our sense of value when the wife respects us. Okay, but also for you people, I believe romance speaks very highly about you when we love you, when we and we'll be breaking that later on about what love, or what it means, or how a woman interprets love as. Okay, so I believe that it's inherent. It's a great need for a woman to feel loved and just appreciated. Yeah.
All right, and still on that, I'd love to, because as you've said, the man was ordered to love.
It's a command.
Yeah, it's a command.
Yeah.
It's an order.
Yes.
You love your wife, and then for the woman, you're ordered to respect, to submit to your husband. So how does that look like? How do you interpret, as a man in marriage, how do you interpret submission from your wife? What does that look like? And then I would love to hear from Paul how you interpret love from your husband as a wife.
Okay. First and foremost, maybe before I want to say something that I failed to mention earlier, and I want to mention it right now, is that the Bible does say that we need to love our wives as we love ourselves. And so it has to begin with you yourself, being having dealt with your demons or your skeletons as pertains to the way you see yourself and the way you love yourself. So there's no way I can love my wife if I haven't loved myself. So it has to begin with myself, how I see myself. In fact, in marriage, what we say is that we don't enter into marriage for me to get to know the other person or to try and change the other person. But actually, I get to know myself in that kind of a relationship. Why? Because it's very hard for me to be able to love myself, or to know that I'm impatient, or to know that I have anger problems when I'm living alone. But when I'm interacting out of the relationship that I have with this person or with my spouse, then I get to know how impatient I am. Or how anxious I am, or how I handle, things such as anger management. So in relationships, we enter into a marriage, or we enter into a relationship for me to discover myself. And as I change in myself, then automatically the other person, will begin to change. So that's the irony of a relationship. Now, to come now to that question that you just asked about what submission means to me as a man, first and foremost is to say that the way you people talk to us, even the scripture says that, it's better for a man than sitting next to or sitting under a woman who's nagging, you'd rather go to the corner of a house, you know. And that's not the only scripture. There's also another scripture that says that you'd rather stay in the desert than stay under the nagging of a wife. So, you know, it says, you know, because I may go to the corner of the house, I may go to the corner of a house and the wife might get me at that corner of the house. So at least I've been given another option of going to the desert. Yes. So that tells you how, for us, nagging is, you know. So, so there's that part of nagging. The other part is we love it when you women ask us questions. But of course, as I said, respect is earned. I also have to conduct myself in such a manner that I deserve that kind of a respect. So it is nice when we find you asking us questions or just for advice, or, you know, you're coming and asking us, hey, what do you think? And sometimes as a woman, you can be more gifted than us. But at least a wise woman is one who knows, hey, even if I'm asking or as I'm guiding, how is it I can be able to push in my idea or whatever I want to see, you know, him run with it as a man. How can I bring that idea so that he can accept it and he can see it as his own? So we love that aspect of you just submitting and not tearing us down. Then the other thing is, you know, as men, we were created to show off. You know, when we were dating, you know, we had a lot of lies. You know, there's a way that we used to, you know, try to show that I can do this, I'm beyond, I'm over the world, you know. And so as we saw you admire us, you know, that made us fall in love with you people even more. So even in marriage, that should continue. And so just that aspect, you still believe it. Whether I've lost my job, you still believe in me. You know, I started a business, it didn't do well. The first person we look at is you, the spouse. And so we want to see, how are you? Am I still a failure in front of your eyes? Because if I have failed in the home, if I have failed before your eyes, it doesn't matter what the people out there in the world say. Because first and foremost, it's a wife, you know. But if she says she believes in me, she says, you know, I will rise up again, you know, it doesn't matter what I've gone through. I think that's a sense of respect that we desire from you. The other one, which I cannot, of course, say here on this particular place, but just that aspect of knowing that you appreciate me in my effort, even as we are having that intimacy together, that you know, you're not tearing me down, that we're unashamed, you know. And I feel I feel at peace. I feel I can relax even in my intimate moment with you, that I can feel that I can be vulnerable to you. So we really admire that. Yes.
And I want to hear how you interpret love. You know, how does a woman interpret love from their husband? Okay,
love is a very big attribute. Even God loved and He gave. One of the things that where men fail is that you want to be you want to be given that love, but you are not giving out. So as I give you respect and you give me love, it is something that should come out of you. And let me tell you, a man is very easy to love if he has given. But if you block, just like you go somewhere, you want to talk to people and you find their hearts are shut. Even how much you want to show out that love, it cannot come out. So it is the man to release himself so that he can be, the love that he gives is coming in. Because I may respect him, but the love that I'm is trying to give to me is not coming in because of the way. Like, let me tell you one thing. The people say that the way to a man's life is the stomach. You see? How true is that statement? You know, Reverend Gichuhi, someone said that, but okay, I don't want to be offensive, but someone said men are like, I don't want to mention, like, but you can find a man has been taken away because of a plate of food. Just because you are not conscious, you are making a lot of noise, and you don't know exactly what is required of you. Then you make a lot of noise, and it goes because of a plate of food that you could have made. You see? So that love, especially when he receives it, he gives it out, and you give him respect. Like he has said something, let me just go to what he has said, that about a woman is the most important person in the life of a man. Let's say even a very senior person in the government. Protocol and everybody, when they get to the house, they all withdraw. Then he gets to the house and the woman tells him, you are the most stupid man I've ever seen in the world. Or wherever that respect was given out, unless he gets from their wife, he is finished. It's like he has no value at all. But if he gets that love, you are strong. You can make it. You are the best man. And all that vision that he has, that woman will accept and show him, I support you. I support you what you do. You don't interrupt him when he's speaking. You give him time to speak. And all okay, maybe he has a vision that you don't like, but in that vision, you find, because he likes it, you just want to show him it is possible. You can give your own points on how to change it, but you just want to show him your thoughts are the best. That man, whatever potential was in him will come out. As I said another day, in a man there is a boy to play and a king to rule. The boy wants to play. The time to play, he has to play. If he doesn't play, he's crushed. And the time to be in his palace and rule, allow him to rule and become the king. You see? So that the position that he needs so that he can be able to share, he will give you love if you give him respect. But however much you may want to be given a lot of love, showered with so many things, bought everything, but you're not giving back, it will not work. A very good example, let me say a very simple thing. Let's say someone comes with a card. Yeah. A card maybe for anniversary. And maybe in the card you were expecting something bigger than that. But there's something he has written down that we are not seeing what he wants to do for you. But you just look at it and say, is this what you thought? You have crushed him. But as simple as the card may be, that's a show of love. If you take it and appreciate it with all your heart, you make the man in him come out. The potential in a man will only come out by the strength of the wife. The mother, the brother, and the people around him are secondary. But the strength comes from the wife. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe Reverend Gichuhi, before you answer me on the importance of being able to balance that love and respect in a marriage. How true is that statement of the way to a man's heart is through their stomach? Before we move on.
Yeah, there is some truth in it, of course. And but I believe sometimes it's not just in the food itself, but also the way it's delivered to you. The kind of respect that is done, the attention, you know. So it's not so much per se the food per se, although it does hold some weight, but the way it is given. And that's why some people's marriages have been broken, because a woman has capitalized on a weakness or on a gap that maybe that was identified in that relationship that this person was in. And so this person just feels, you feel special. So the way the food is brought, the way the ambience of the place, the atmosphere in the place, and just, the conversation that we are having as I'm partaking of that meal. And so, of course, there is some truth in it. But I think I always say that in every relationship, there's an aspect of investing. A piece of land grows in value based on the investment that you've put in that piece of land. And so even in a relationship, be it with your spouse, be it with your children, there has to be an investment in terms of time. There has to be an investment in terms of getting to know the other person and also making yourself vulnerable to the other person. And so one of the things we say that if there's going to be love or respect, everything is built, or it is secured, or it is cemented, or it's founded in the private times that you have together. And so there's no way that I can be in a relationship with my spouse, but in public, I'm giving them the sweet nothings, I'm trying to show how I love, I'm carrying her bag, I'm opening her door, but when we're the two of us, I'm the one who's abusing her, I'm beating her up, I'm showing disrespect. Because there has to be that place where you tender something, you nurture something, and nurturing something is best done in the private. And so sometimes you can identify a relationship of two people, and you can tell that these two people are just actually making a show. But there are people that you can look at and you say, these two people love each other. But that love has come because they've spent time in their time of isolation, in their time when they're the two of them, in building a strong relationship, getting to know the other person, getting to show love to the other person, so that at least when you're in public, it just flows. Even unconsciously.
It's the same thing in the house.
Yes, it's in the same thing. Yeah, but you can't just, because a lot of marriages are struggling because it's an act. So we do this in public, but when we're the two of us, we're taking each other for granted. I actually say that where you need to put the most emphasis of love, where you need to put the most emphasis of respect, is when you're just the two of you even when it comes to your children. You know, the best time to really invest in that relationship is when no one else is looking. So that way it comes out genuine, as opposed to when you do things for the public.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vivian, I want to correct him something. He said that this is not what he's supposed to say here. About the intimacy. Let me tell you, that's the strength of marriage.
Yeah.
When your wife left their home to come to your house, your mother could wash clothes and your sisters could cook. Our main agenda, what was the main agenda? What anybody else cannot do? Sex. Let us be practical. This is when you start hiding is when they go and find it everywhere. So it's good to talk about it. So if you make it good in the bedroom, automatically in the kitchen, the sitting room, and out there, it will be okay. But you crash it there, it goes. So don't run away from it. It is the truth. If you are talking about marriage, it's marriage, yeah. So it is about intimacy in the marriage has to be there. And you have to make sure you invest in it. You don't just think about it. You invest and plan about it. Yes.
And I think that's the meal. And that's the meal that actually speaks to the heart of a man, actually, as you said, yeah. So the way that game is played is very, 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 very key.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you ensure you keep love going in a marriage? Because I'm trying to look at scenarios where, you know, people have been married for so many years. Sometimes maybe their love may fade or something. So how do you rekindle it? How do you keep it, you know, moving, and how do you keep it going?
Okay. Maybe there's something I just want to share. This is, you know, when you are dating with your spouse, it took you to date for you to propose, for the other person to accept your proposal. So I'm trying to say this to say that the weight of dating, sometimes you look at it after you've gotten married as a childish thing. And you forget that that's what took you and brought you together. So one of the things we say is that it's good to make your relationship with your spouse, put it creative. Let it be a creative kind of a relationship. Don't let it run on autopilot. Okay? Continue discovering. You remember that I talked about the part of investing, you know, in your relationship. I think it's very, very important in your relationship, so that at least you can keep that burning. Come find new ways, discover new ways. You know, don't make it monotonous. Whether it's at the bedroom, you know, don't just be one person who just this is the way we've been doing it, and so that's, you know, you grow dull. You know, some things become boring. You know, if I'm sending a text every day, you know, to my spouse, let it be that I'm not just copy pasting the same things, you know, but at least be creative, send some pictures, send some words, you know, those kind of things. If it's going to eat out, you know, don't just go to one place, you know, look for different places and be going out. Okay, remember that when you were dating, you used to go out, even if you were sharing just a half a samosa and, you know, one soda, yeah, to Huru Park. You know, now that, you know, you've gotten married, you're able to take someone, you know, change. You know, you can take somewhere. It's not about the expense, but it's about the environment. Remember, the thing that makes the place where you are exciting is not so much what the atmosphere, the place where you are, but who you are with. Okay, and so just having that place where you guys sit and not getting lost in that relationship. One of the things I wanted to say, as before you step in, there are people I've heard, because I've also been a counselor, where somebody says that I feel lost in this relationship. And so it's possible that you can find yourself that in all these years that you've been relating with this person, I've actually been serving their vision, but I'm lost. I also have a vision. Okay, so it's important that in that relationship that you're helping the other person become better. Because as I help my spouse become better, I'm also becoming better. So I can't use her to serve me, and then she gets lost, you know, and then later on I start nurturing bitterness within her. Because why? She didn't feel recognized, she didn't feel you know, appreciated in that relationship. Yes.
The other thing I was saying is that, as you said about the vision, during dating and maybe as you grow, because people don't know their dreams, they come to discover their dreams as they go on. It's good as a couple, you merge your dreams. You try to know, what do you think? What do you have in your heart? So that I don't come in and you push me to carry you because our DNA have a blueprint of that why I was born. So and you have a DNA blueprint where you were born, and that is your destiny. For us to be able to move together, and of course everything becomes very easy. It's good that we know each other's dream. Then when we understand each other's dream, we support each other. Whether it can be done together or we can move together. And that's what I'm saying. I'm still going back. The sex life of a marriage is a key thing, because that is the strength and the bond, the main bond of the marriage. So when it is very good and it is something that is done contusively, it's not something that is done because it was supposed to be done, and you plan it, and you find that even your visions now you can be able to communicate. Communication, when it is there in the bedroom, it will become a communication even in the vision, communication in what you do, and the results will be very good, and you find there is happiness around it. The other day we are talking about the silent treatment. What brings silent treatment? It's when in a marriage is when you find that you have a vision as a husband and you are head of the family. I need to submit to you, but you want me to submit to everything. There's something burning in me that I cannot even share. Then you find people go silent because they are killing inside, but they cannot talk. But when it starts from the bedroom, it becomes very easy. Even everybody around will enjoy what is happening. The dreams will come to pass of each one of us. And you'll be able, there's communication, because it is easy now to communicate. You don't fear. You know, sometimes when people become like two people living in the same house, like they are not together, because of course they have lost the main agenda of the marriage. But when there is strength in their sex life, everything else will be easy, and you find there is flow, and you will not forget what you wanted to say. You'll be happy even to share. What do you think? But also, always it's good, or sometimes as a woman, because there's submission, you bring your idea like, I thought. You don't come say, I want. That's how it's called it's not a high statement. You try to bring it in a way that if someone says that you are trying to ask for permission, though you know you want it. You see, so that brings the aspect of respect and love. It closes it. Yes.
Is it possible to, because we're running out of time actually, as we finish, is it possible to salvage a marriage that is lacking love and respect in it? Is it possible?
Yeah, it is. It is possible. As a man of the cloth, of course, I say through prayers, it is possible. But I know that there are times that it becomes a challenge, especially when we have different kinds of vision or perspective, where you know, people seem not to look to, they don't seem to agree. And but one thing I want to say is that, and thank God you chose on this topic, I think the baseline, the foundation of every relationship is that aspect of respect and of love one with the other. And you know, and so I know there are situations whereby, you know, some relationships have, you know, not happened because one person felt that they were not being respected, or one person felt that they were not being loved. Why? Because one of the people in that relationship decided to bring a third party. It can either be a parent, it can either be their job, it can either even be the church, or it can be the business. So the other person feels, sorry for this, feels left out. And so because of that, I don't feel valued. And so because of that, that relationship dies. And so anything that if you don't invest in it and you don't give time to it, sorry for that, it will break down. But it is possible. There are situations where we've had even people who have separated and they've come back together because there was that willingness and that commitment for one another.
All right. Yes. Your parting shot, Pearl, as we finish.
Okay. What I will say is that just it is good to make sure you invest, make sure love comes out and respect comes out. And when it is done, it will draw each other. It will not be hard to bring out a solution and maybe bring peace where there was one. But also, in case there is no love and no respect, and you find there is almost destruction, don't wait until you are destroyed in the name of a marriage. Marriage is not a end of life. So you find this thing is getting to somewhere that if I continue like this, I may die here. Please, I don't encourage it, but you have also to save your life. So there is wisdom also in it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Reverend Gichuhi, for joining me for this particular conversation. And this is where we wrap up Good Morning Kenya for today. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in. On behalf of the entire team that has made this show a success, we want to wish you a lovely day. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.